Body-Culinary. Always Chef Kwasa, founder of Body-Culinary. We're in the kitchen. Doing a little bit of meal prep. And so our garden / kitchen contemplation today is, are you aware of what you are in control of and what you're not in control of? Right? So I find that being in the kitchen and quiet is, I would even say that it's meditative. When you're taking the time to prepare your food for yourself, it's a perfect time for reflection. And we're also finishing off some papaya this morning with some fresh local lime. So this is another variety of lime. The Jamaican lime then is this one, and it has a lot of seeds in it. These are really small. But I like to have it with local papaya, which is delicious. So are you aware of what you're control of versus what you're not in control of? If you're new here, welcome. Body-Culinary chef. Kwasa, professional chef, personal trainer. And we're going to get into our conversation. But first I want to let you know, if you're new here, that on this channel, we celebrate everything having to do with whole, fresh living and unprocessed foods, a daily personal movement practice, aka fitness and exercise, and garden / nature therapy. Why? Because they give you back, these leveraged lifestyle activities give you back so much more for the investment of your time, your energy, and your attention. So if you're interested in vitality and maximizing what your natural body can do and how it can perform without the drugs and the surgeries, then this is the place. So you're always welcome to like, comment respectfully, subscribe, share the channel with somebody that can use some motivation and some inspiration. Local papaya. Also, some of the folks that come to my channel are interested in fine hair and hair growth, which is totally connected to what you're eating and your movement practice. So many people are just looking for more pills and powders, but if you have poor circulation, how can you expect clear skin and for your hair to grow? Because it's growing from the inside. So we can put as much as we want topically on the outside, but it's coming from the inside first. So that's your circulation and the quality of your food. So that's why, one of many reasons why we focus on whole, fresh living and unprocessed foods. Whatever label you want to put on yourself is your business, but the body knows exactly what to do in the presence of whole, fresh living and unprocessed foods. It doesn't really even need a label, although some people call it vegan, raw vegan. It's much, much bigger concept than that. So subscribe to the channel. Engage with the channel. On some Fridays we post, well, not just on Fridays, on some mornings I post here the 5 a.m. workout. It's 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then those videos will go to private. If you're interested in coaching with me, because we are in our New Year's push. So if you want to do something other than just staring into the screen, greetings. If you're interested in doing something other than just staring into the screen and getting active, then reach out to me. My information is in the link area for these videos. And so I've been a personal trainer at a top trainer, Equinox, one of the most popular gyms in New York City, for 10 years. I've been on this journey of whole, fresh living, unprocessed foods for going on 4 decades. So it's really, for me, about vitality and longevity. We want to be pain-free as long as possible. We want our cognition and we want our brains to function as long as possible. We'd rather not have to cut up on our hips and cut up on our body parts and put alternate stuff in. If you've altered your body, you're welcome here too. But ideally, we want to see how we can clear our skin up. I used to have a lot of acne with just lifestyle, and it's totally possible. I think we're in a time now where people are just panicking and are no longer seeing possibilities for what your natural body can do. So I'm on the other side of 55, right? And it's only habits, good habits I'm making withdrawals from now, because I come from a family pattern of morbid obesity, diabetes, heart disease, cancer, all of those. And it's mostly due to self-sedating with food and lifestyle and stress. And there's no shortage of stress today. So, if you have questions about taking on whole, fresh living and unprocessed foods as a lifestyle, then respectfully, you can put them into the chat. All right, I can tell you right away, to obtain the shopping list and the mindset shift that is required to embrace this lifestyle, as well as all the tips and tricks for what I've been doing for my family for all of these years. And you want to download a copy of Whole Living Foods in the Hood with menus to fit your budget. So you can find that in the link description, or go to body-culinary.com. You can also email me, info@body-culinary.com, because we train on the regular here. And again, we are in our New Year's push. So if you've been stagnant, I would not advise you to wait for the new year, because that's a mentality. Waiting is a mentality. Tomorrow never comes. If you're waiting, that's a mentality. And so one day turns to 2 days, turns to weeks, turns to months, turns to years, and your body's not sitting stagnant while you're not doing anything, right? And believe it or not, whether you're present to it or not, the one thing you are in control of, at least most of us in control of, are your lifestyle practices. Ask me how I know. So there are some things that you're in control of with any budget, in any location, under any circumstances. Why do I say that? Well, think of people in jail. Think of people in jail in lockdown. A lot of them come out super fit, right? Now, granted, they have a lot of time on their hands. They get very creative with what they've got, with the making their own equipment and using mostly calisthenics. So if they can get fit in shape, why can't we as women get in shape? It's a mentality. So that waiting is a whole mentality, right? So our deal is, if we're going to be online, then we're going to make sure that we're cutting up vegetables and we're getting something out of our time. We want to leverage lifestyle activities that are giving you something back for the investment of your time. So now we just chopped up a whole bunch of choice sum, which we're going to be using. We have local lines. And we will make use of also the stems. We'll recycle the bag. We're going to make use of all the stems. And then we're also going to cut up some okra. Okra or okra. Not everybody loves okra. I do. This is one of the most beneficial foods on the planet. And I grow it. I grow a couple of varieties in the garden. This is like a top food for your reproductive organs, the natural mucosa that's inside of the body, soothing your intestinal lining for the lubrication in your eyes, your joints. Also very soothing to your intestines. So if you know something is good for you, then why can't you eat it? Or would you rather take medication? I'm not interested in the needles, so I'll take the okra. And there's actually so many things we can do from okra, and it's also easy to grow. So when we cut these things out, these are things that are in our control, right? Things that we underestimate, these leverage lifestyle practices. So while you're running your mouth on the phone or you're on the internet, you could be cutting up fresh vegetables, right? There's so much distraction, but you can choose to empower yourself with who you're engaging with online. Hopefully when you come away from your interactions with folks, you're inspired to get into action around what you say is important to you, right? So I know health and longevity is important to me, but it's not coming. I can tell you, somebody that's been decades in the business, it's not coming if you're just staring and looking, you're not doing anything, if you're not getting into action. It's not coming. No one is coming actually to save you if you're not getting into action, right? So cutting up vegetables, that's something on a regular basis. That's something that's in your control. Who you're subscribing to online, that's something that's in your control. right? You don't have to be on a bunch of medications, which is only going to get more and more expensive. It's getting more, not taking responsibility for your lifestyle practices. It's only going to get more and more intense. So you're going to have to choose. You have the opportunity to choose what you're going to do. Or you could just be a troll on the internet. But is that really a good use of your time? Is that a good use of your time? So again, download Whole Living Foods in the Hood. Right, so when you get off of this live, you have immediate instructions for what to do. You have something to do. You have a whole guideline on what to shop for, easy places to get it. All the shopping lists that are there. You can get the food from the farmer's market, the food cooperative, or even at the fruit and vegetable stand. Right? Easy breezy. So you have stuff, you know, you can do that you can understand. Simple. You got a knife, you got a grater, you got a cutting board. There's so much that you can do. And if you're someone that has a lot of issues with your skin, like I did, I'm not using any products. I'm just using the food. I'm using the food from the inside. So the number one beauty product, I would say, but if you go into my, what do you call it? The post area, the community post area, and you scroll all the way back and down, you'll see how intense my acne was. Right? And that was from all of the stuff that I put in, right? Because the skin is just telling you about what's going on inside of your organs. But it's food. I tried everything natural and unnatural to clear my skin. It's the food. It's the food that cleared up my skin. So, and this is a lifestyle. It's not a diet. So how hard is it to cut up vegetables, right? That's something you can do. You want pretty skin, and I would buy so many products, but how much sense does it make to pay for all these products and then dry your body out from the outside with the things that we're eating? Does that make sense? This is much less expensive, right? A lot less expensive than taking needles and now, what is it, GLP-1 and all this other stuff. It's amazing that we don't even question this stuff. You know, people with enough authority say it. We just, as a species, we just follow. Right? So there's so much to be said for the foods that you are eating. This is something that you're in control of. And you can let me know respectfully in the comments when it comes to your health, when it comes to your vitality and your fitness. What are the things that are out of your control and what are the things that are within your control? What can you control? Cutting vegetables, doing some type of movement practice in your house, aka exercise. I like to have my own terminology, the way that I frame things in my mind, because that will give you more mental access to change. Right? Many of us don't have the mental, we have desires and intentions to change, but we don't have the mental access. Many of us are really overwhelmed with the pace of life that we're moving at. Right? And the amount of worry, the stuff that's being pumped out of these screens. So it's really humbling to realize just how addicted and conditioned we are. It's no joke. I tell clients all the time, I study junkies. Someone asked me the other day, what do I mean I study junkies? I was like, I make it plain. I study junkies for a reason. Drug addicts, right? Because many of us may think, oh, we're not drug addicts, but it's really just a spectrum, right? We have our drugs legal. That's all of our okra, and illegal. Over the counter, under the counter. Yeah, so that is so good for you. So we have our choice sum. And also we have some local limes here. There's several different varieties of lime, several different varieties of avocado, several different types of pineapple, numerous different types of mangoes. And these are our beauty products, is the food that we're eating. Right? So if you want to know exactly what I'm eating, download that Whole Living Foods in the Hood. Oh, and then if you are dealing with a lot of acne, you can get Natural Beauty No Products, Love Your Own Hair and Skin. It's cruelty-free and vegan. So you can see exactly the different foods that I'm putting on my face and on my skin. If I can't eat it, then I don't want to put it on my face. Right? Because you don't have to. Right? Because my grandma put me onto this a long time ago. Exactly what to put on the face. So these are actually a lot of old traditions. And it's simplicity. Simplicity is actually very elegant. All right, so we have that, And then we're also going to cut up some squash. So everything, we're going to make sure that we're using everything that we're spending our money on. Right? So how many of you are using patty pan squash? That smells nice. So let's just cut the end off of it. So we're going to make sure we use all of this. So are you letting your fresh produce waste out in the refrigerator? Is it going bad, or are you getting some good use out of it? So we're going to make sure we're spending everything that we shot for. It took a long time to grow, sometimes 3 to 4 months for it to grow. So we're going to make sure we're getting good use out of all of our food. Now, that's living water in it. That's hydration. So even if you drink water out of the bottle, you can't get any better than the living water that is coming out of the plant foods, right? That's the main water we want. That's going to give you beautiful, plump, hydrating skin. If you keep or continuously eat things that are drying the body out, kind of like if you think of like dried out cat food, then it's no wonder that our skin is so dry, right? It's no wonder. Okay. So we have some papaya here that we need to cut up. And before we do that, let's sharpen our knives just a little bit. Sharpen our knife up. Always with a nice sharp knife for cutting critters. All right, so if you have any questions before we get offline about whole living foods, what does that mean? It's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. And how you can implement them, then put your questions in the chat while I'm here. Before we get off. All right, so our movement practice is at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're food prepping most days. And then we're also in the garden. So again, this is why I call these leverage, yeah, that's getting nice and sharp. Leverage lifestyle practices. And you want a sharp knife. Making sure you keep your knives and your machetes in the garden, keeping them nice and sharp. Not like a nice sharp blade in case you need to cut a garden snake. Another reason to stay fit, ladies. All right, so we're gonna hop off. So, in our greens today, we're using the okra, we're gonna use some tomatoes, we're gonna use the choy sum, we're gonna use the squash, we're gonna use the limes, and we're also gonna do something with the papaya. So it's gonna be heated, it's only heated by the sun. Greetings, Carolyn, how are you? Carolyn, you're here all the time. Where are you? Where do you reside, Carolyn? You've been here for some years. What state are you in? You're here consistently. Are you tuning in from work? What state are you in, Carolyn? Because I've been seeing your face here for years. Where are you hailing from, Carolyn? Let's see. Greetings, Carolyn. I'm curious because you've been here for years. What state are you? Are you from the U.S.? And do you watch, do you participate in any of the movement practices? Any of the food prep? Any of the relaxation videos, Carolyn? Or are you just staring at the screen? Are you getting into action? Are you motivated to get into action? Hopefully you are. All right, guys. So The internet is a interesting place. I'm going to get off of here. Y'all create a great day on purpose. We're going to finish prepping this food. So the movement practice, the daily workout is at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're interested in coaching and doing something other than staring at the screen and just saying hi, you want to get into action and reach out to me. My information is in the link area. You can also follow along with Body Culinary on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Create a great